Welcome to this edition of the Mayor's Report for Dublin. I'm your host, Splen Splendorio. Joining me today is Vice Mayor Jean Josie from that Emerald City of Dublin. Welcome, Jean.
Hi, Splen. It's nice to be here. It's been a while.
It's great to see you. So we always start the show with, in this case, the Vice Mayor's choice. And it's something you want to talk to our viewers about. So what have you got?
Sure. I'd like to talk a little bit about Dublin Pride Week, which is coming up April 25th through May 2nd. It's an opportunity for our community to come together and give back to the beautiful community that we live in. It's always held every year around Earth Day, and it's really an opportunity for all of us to celebrate community, promote environmental stewardship, and take pride in where we live. It gives people an opportunity to come out and really beautify the city of Dublin. We kick off each year with Dublin Pride Volunteer Day, and this year it'll be on April 25th at Emerald Glen Park. Gives an opportunity for volunteers to come out and do projects like park and trail cleanups and tree plantings, other beautification efforts across the city. So we all meet at Emerald Glen Park, but then we disperse throughout the city to do beautification projects. Also that same day, we have several things for our residents to take advantage of. Dublin residents can pick up a free bag of compost at Emerald Glen Park. We also have at the Dublin Civic Center, hosted by our police services, a drug take-back event so that we make sure we keep prescription drugs out of the water table, as well as an e-waste drop-off and also document shredding there. In addition, we're going to have a food bank in partnership with Children's Emergency Food Bank, so we'll be collecting food donations all week at both Emerald Glen and the Civic Center. So we really encourage people to come out and donate food for those that may be food insecure in our community. We're a pretty affluent community, but we know there are pockets where, not just in Dublin, but in the Tri-Valley and the greater Bay Area, where children are not getting enough to eat. So we would love for folks to donate non-perishable food items to that as well. So throughout the week, we will also be doing our children's essay and poster contest. Those submissions are due on April 20th, and then they'll be announced. Those winners will be announced. So we'd love to encourage everybody to come out and volunteer and help make Dublin an even greater place to live, work, and play.
Oh, it is wonderful. Last month, of course, March is a very special month for the city of Dublin with St. Patrick's Day and the festival and everything. But there was some special guests that come every once in a while to Dublin. That's your sister city dignitaries from Bray, Ireland. Tell us a little bit about Bray, Ireland, or maybe about the dignitaries that showed up and marched in the parade.
Sure, and sister cities in general, I would imagine. Yeah. So our Bray delegation comes every year at St. Patrick's Day weekend. We have a fantastic weekend with them. We've had a sister city relationship with Bray since 1987, and they've come over here, I think, pretty much every year since then. We have a core group that comes every year, and then they sort of have a rotational group of elected officials and their Bray municipal staff that also joins them. So they arrive in time for the Shamrock Gala on Friday. They stay through the pancake breakfast and the parade and the festival. But we also do business exchanges with them when they come over and when we go visit them. So the whole point of Sister Cities is to have an exchange of not just culture, but economic development ideas and youth exchanges and community development ideas, and so that we can learn from them and they can learn from us, so that when they come over, we always have a business meeting where we talk about projects that they're working on in Bray, projects that we're working on here, and how we can learn from each other. Housing has been a big topic of conversation in the last couple of years with those exchanges. When we went there, we toured some of the big economic development hubs that they have going on. They have a big film industry set in Bray, which is fun. They also have a couple of electronic EV manufacturers right there in Bray. So we talked about how they're developing those technologies there. When they come here, they tour some of our newer businesses. They were very interested in Camp Parks when they've come to see how we're doing that, and of course, how we're providing housing, because affordable housing is not only at crisis levels here in the United States, but in Ireland as well, and pretty much worldwide right now. So not only do they come to celebrate our festival, when we go there, we've gone for their St. Patrick's Day festival.
They have one also?
Yes, I actually have marched in the Bray St. Patrick's Day parade.
That's great.
Their Bray parade is not the biggest, of course. Their Dublin, the City of Dublin parade is bigger than Bray, but our St. Patrick's Day parade may actually be bigger than the Bray parade, which I found fascinating. They also have a big air show, so we've gone to their air show. They have an annual air show in Bray, which is a massive festival, massive. We also do youth exchanges with them. Our Youth Advisory Council has been doing Zoom meetings all year with their youth council, talking about things like mental health crisis in youth and other issues that are important to teens. So it's overall just a really great exchange of ideas. In addition to, we've become very good friends with them because they come every year. We don't go quite as often, which they would like us to go more often. But we've grown very close with some of these members every year, so it's really nice. And actually, our Dublin High School band is going for their spring break to
that's wonderful.
do a
Isn't
music
that wonderful?
exchange with some of their schools.
Isn't that wonderful? I imagine the band has learned some Irish songs?
They do. They're actually performing on the Bray bandstand at the waterfront with a local rock band that is from Bray. And so the Dublin kids have learned some of their music, and they will actually perform together with this local rock band.
Wouldn't that be wonderful
Yeah.
to get a video of that? And that's a great cultural exchange.
Yeah, it really is. It's a great partnership. And the Dublin Sister City Association is, they disbanded because of COVID, because they weren't able to meet in person, but we've continued the relationship. We are repopulating the Sister City Association with the hopes of expanding to other cities and other countries as well.
Wow, that's great. No, I mean, just reflecting on the students, the experience, that will live with them forever.
It will. In fact, my son was in the band in 2016 when they went over, and I was able to go along on that trip. And those kids really remember that.
Yeah.
And in fact, when we went in 2023, when I checked into the hotel, and the clerk there saw that I was American, said, "Where are you from?" And I told her, and she says, "Oh, my high school, we had a music exchange with students from Dublin in 2016.
great.
And so it's the kids that are at their schools, when our kids come and play, they remember it just as fondly. So it's really an exciting exchange.
Yeah, we got to hear more about that. But Jean, I want everyone's been waiting for the opening of this one particular store. Talk about cultural experiences. H Mart finally
Yes.
open. Tell our viewers a little bit, what is H Mart in case they don't know, and then walk us down the aisles. What's in there?
Absolutely. H Mart is a cultural phenomenon, not just a grocery store. So for anybody who doesn't know, H Mart is an Asian grocery store. It is the biggest Asian grocery chain in the United States, and Dublin is very proud to welcome them. They opened on March 26th officially with a huge grand opening. There were, the one estimate I heard were 10,000 people that day.
Wow.
The line was quite large on grand opening day. It is amazing. They are at 7884 Dublin Boulevard, which is the old Orchard Supply building. And it is so much more than a grocery store. They have a food hall. They have amazing prepared foods in addition to fresh meats and seafoods and amazing produce, things that you might not get anywhere else, hard to find ingredients. They do cater to Korean and other Asian specialties, and so there's a lot of hard to find things. But they are a bit of a cultural phenomenon, in addition to being just a great grocery store. The food hall has both indoor and outdoor seating, so you've got dining and shopping all in one place. They have, I think, 6 vendors in the food hall right now, but the outdoor has a play area as well. So it's really quite a destination. It is a regional draw, which we're happy to have in our downtown. If you've never been to an H Mart, plan on a couple hours the first time, because you're going to want to really wander every aisle. They have a very large selection of frozen foods, also fresh prepared foods, side dishes, as I mentioned, marinated meats and things. It's really more than a grocery store. It's about culture and cuisine all in one place, and it really shows the diversity of Dublin, that they've chosen
Right.
Dublin for their next store. I think we're the 88th store in the US and the 23rd in California. And people, the huge line is just a testament to how popular they are nationwide and how long we've been waiting for this grand opening. It takes a really long time to turn a hardware store into a grocery store.
Yeah.
And so the opening has been widely anticipated for quite a while now in Dublin. And so it was really a beautiful day when they did the grand opening, but the store inside is really quite something.
Yeah, I would imagine that the store did some demographic analysis to solve the diversity of the population of Dublin and the surrounding area, and figured it would be a draw. But I believe the next closest store is in San Jose.
That's right.
So you could have residents of Fremont to Walnut Creek coming to Dublin just to visit the H Mart, couldn't you?
Yes, that's exactly right. We do anticipate that it will be a regional draw, and of course our hope is that once folks come to H Mart and they look around Dublin, oh, Dublin's got a lot going on. I think I'll stick around and shop in our other stores as well. And so we're really pleased to have that right there in downtown Dublin. And the lines have been pretty good. You can't judge by a first week, of course. Everybody's very excited, but we do anticipate that there will be a lot of business from not just Dublin, but the surrounding areas. Although every Dublin resident I know is very excited for this. I think the number one question I've been asked in the last year is when is H Mart finally opening its doors? And so we're really pleased to say they are open. Come down and check it out.
Right, and I'm sure the other stores that are in that shopping center are also happy to have a bunch more people looking at whatever they're trying to sell or services they're providing, aren't they?
That's right. I was in Half Price Books on Sunday, which is on the other end of that same strip, and there were definitely more folks in that store than there are on a normal Sunday morning. So that was really exciting to see.
All right, thanks, Jean. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back of this edition of the Mayor's Report for Dublin. Welcome back to this edition of the Mayor's Report for Dublin. We're here with Vice Mayor Jean Josie. Welcome back, Jean.
Thanks.
Dublin is unique for many different reasons, but around the 4th of July, it is a unique opportunity for folks to buy fireworks. And the purpose has been for decades is to benefit nonprofits. So tell us a little bit about the process, how a nonprofit can obtain a permit. And then I know that your council has recently discussed selling fireworks, and give our viewers an insight into what was discussed.
Sure. So we are one of the only cities around that still allows safe and sane fireworks. And as you mentioned, the purpose of those sales is to help nonprofit organizations fundraise and also to allow our residents to celebrate safely the 4th of July. So I don't think any jurisdictions in Contra Costa County and only 3 in Alameda County still sell safe and sane fireworks. And so the discussion came up at council in January 1st, at our January 13th meeting, to talk about the process for selling safe and sane fireworks to make sure that our current practices and our municipal code are in alignment. And so at that meeting, the City Council received a report on the sale of safe and sane fireworks and on our process. And as a result of that discussion, we asked staff to go back and do a little bit of work. We asked them to update the application itself as well as the procedures that we use for the nonprofits that sell safe and sane fireworks, mostly to align current practice with what is actually in the municipal code. That chapter hadn't been updated in a while, and practices had evolved a little bit, and we want to make sure that what we say we do is really what we do. We also were very concerned about enforcement of illegal fireworks. The year 2020 saw a huge uptick in illegal fireworks as huge shows were canceled. The black market got flooded with illegal fireworks, and since then we have continued to see nationwide, not in Dublin specifically, continued use of illegal fireworks. And we wanted to make sure that there was a distinction between the two and that our city has enforcement mechanisms for the illegal fireworks while allowing the safe and sane fireworks. And so we directed them to not only update the ordinance based on our current practices for nonprofits and the sale and use of safe and sane fireworks, but also to update social host language so that we have a mechanism for enforcing non-safe and sane firework use, and that we allow the city to do administrative citations for folks who allow illegal fireworks to be used at their property. And so on March 24th, we had a further discussion where staff brought back the things that we asked for. And so the changes were to add social host language. So if you are an owner or a renter of property, and doesn't have to be you specifically, but if a guest of yours is shooting off illegal fireworks or using safe and sane fireworks in a manner in which they are not prescribed, then you can be cited, whether you're the one shooting them off or not. There's also a provision in there that if the social host is the one that calls the city, calls police to say, hey, help me, I've got a guest that's doing something that I did not ask them to do, then they are they cannot be penalized if they are the ones saying, come help me remove this person from citing. So the administrative citation is just one tool. Of course, anybody caught with illegal fireworks can also be criminally cited, but this allows us to cite the owner, because sometimes what happens is we get a report, there's illegal fireworks happening at the property, but without seeing who actually shot them off, the police can't arrest everybody, right? And so the social host language gives us better enforcement for keeping illegal fireworks, which are the ones that tend to cause fires and danger and injuries. We can keep them out of our city as much as possible.
So Jean, how will it work in practice in terms of, will someone have to call? Will it be a 911 call? Or is there some sort of social media or a text message, something like that, to report these?
Yeah, so we'll do several things. First of all, between now and the 4th of July, we will be educating the public about the new language, and there's some other language in the ordinance too that I'll let you know about. But as far as enforcement goes, we will have, the police patrols are out. We have a lot of police patrols out on the 4th of July anyway, but this will allow them to see, you see them go up, they're not subtle, but it will allow them to figure out where the houses are coming from and not necessarily have to see the fireworks be, we'll know that where they're coming from. It'll also, we do get a lot of reports on the 4th of July every year calling either the non-emergency number or 911 saying, my neighbor's party is using illegal fireworks or things like that. And it gives us a little bit more of an enforcement tool. The other things that we did were to, of course, modernize the language for the application process a little bit, but also the process at the booths themselves, and when and where and how, who. And then finally, we clarified definitions. What is a safe and sane firework? What is an illegal firework? And the when and where people can shoot them off. And so that's chapter 5.24 of our municipal code, if anybody wants to go back and look that up. And the discussion where we explained all of these was on March 24th at the council meeting, the updates. And our purpose was really to preserve the sale of safe and sane fireworks, preserve that program, while also enhancing the safety of our city and the enjoyment of the 4th of July for our residents and our visitors.
Okay, that's great. Oh, well, okay. Well, so we'll look forward to see how that all changes right before the 4th of July.
Exactly.
Okay. Recently, the Chamber of Commerce for Dublin hosted the State of the City address, and the city worked in conjunction with the Chamber to put that on. To give our viewers some insight as to how the Chamber of Commerce and the city work together.
Sure. There's a really good partnership between the two organizations. The Chamber hosts events like the State of the City, for example, and helps us to tell our economic development story to the businesses in the community. We also partner very closely with the Chamber in ribbon cuttings and membership and mixers and talking about economic development within the city of Dublin. We help small businesses that are members of the Chamber. We have quite a few economic development tools within the city of Dublin to help them, and the Chamber does as well. They host seminars and networking events and things like that. The city has some rather award-winning economic development programs. It wasn't really the question, but I'd love to highlight some of our small business programs. We have what we call the Small Business Concierge Program, which helps new small businesses through the process of opening in Dublin, whether it's site selection, permitting, tenant improvements once they found a site, all of the things that need to happen in order to be up and running within the city of Dublin. That's the Small Business Concierge Program. The Small Business Navigator Program is for existing businesses that maybe need a little bit of help with marketing or legal services or HR services. If they don't have that in-house, we will help pair them with a consultant, and we'll pay for those hours, for a couple of hours of consulting on what they need help on. We also do our Small Business Spotlight, which I'm sure you've seen, where we will highlight a business. We have a texting service, so small businesses can literally, any business can text our economic development staff, ask a question, and they get an immediate response. So the Chamber helps to promote those programs. We help to promote Chamber events, ribbon cuttings, all of those things. So really the two entities work very closely to support our large and small businesses within the city of Dublin.
Wow, that's really interesting. Now, in terms of what the Chamber provides to the city, but is there anything else that the chamber does to promote the city? I mean, like regionally or in other fashion?
Sure, they work closely with other chambers within the Tri-Valley region and also with Visit Tri-Valley to bring folks to our local hotels, our local restaurants, all of those things. They partner closely with lots of regional agencies that help drive business to Dublin and help businesses relocate to Dublin if they're looking for a new site.
And also I imagine to celebrate, like ribbon cutting,
Absolutely.
and things like that, or condemnations for business that have been there for 5, 10, 15 years,
Yes.
et cetera. Yeah.
Yes, and the State of the City, of course, is a big event that we could not put on without them. I mean, we probably could, but it's so much easier with the Chamber's partnership. They do the help us with the promotions. They host the event. They MC the event. It's a wonderful way to bring all of the business community and residents are more than welcome to come as well to hear what's happening in the city of Dublin every year.
Now, Jean, let me change subject and talk about providing energy. I mean, we all figure it's PG&E, but in reality, there are other options available, and there's an upcoming community discussion about a local energy, and maybe give our viewers some insight into that discussion and what they can anticipate or how they can participate.
Sure. So this upcoming community discussion, it's an opportunity for Dublin residents to really learn more about their local energy provider, which is Ava Community Energy, and how it serves the community. Ava partners with PG&E's distribution line, but Ava is a nonprofit community-governed electricity provider. And so it supplies power to Dublin, to both homes and businesses, and its focus is cleaner, more sustained energy and local control. They've been serving Dublin residents since 2018, and sometimes it's hard for residents to know the difference between what's Ava and what's PG&E, and it can be a little bit confusing, right? And so we have this upcoming discussion on April 14th at 5:30 at City Hall, so residents can go to our website and sign up for that. And the purpose is really to talk about what Ava does, talk about their commitment to renewable energy and cleaner energy sources, and to talk about what options there are. The Ava Community Energy CEO, who is Howard Chang, will be there on hand, and also Dublin's representative on the Ava board is Councilmember Murata, and he'll be there as well. And so they'll give a little bit of an overview and insights into local energy production, and then also give residents an opportunity to ask questions and really understand their choices, because there are several different levels of renewable energy that people can opt into. Ava Community Energy is a big part of Dublin's climate action plan. We opted in 2016 before they actually started serving residents, because it helps us meet our climate action goals by providing, in most cases, 100% renewable energy, which is not PG&E's portfolio. So Ava goes out and procures the energy that then gets delivered through PG&E's distribution lines. And so the Dublin residents and businesses, for the most part, are defaulted into renewable energy. Then they have some choices that they can make once that happens. But it's a big part of helping us keep greenhouse gases down and just meet our climate action goals. So I would encourage anyone who's interested to come to that discussion. Really, the point is about transparency and accountability and letting people really understand how their energy is delivered. There's lots of talk about rates and rebates and gas versus electricity and how that all works. And I think a lot of residents and probably business owners as well don't fully understand how PG&E and these community choice aggregators really work together. And so this is an opportunity for people to learn more and understand how their energy is delivered to their homes. And so anybody who wants to learn more about that discussion can visit the city's website at www.dublin.ca.gov.
All right, Jean, we only have a minute left.
Okay.
There's always events going on, even after a busy March. What's going on in Dublin coming up?
So I'm really excited that the farmers market is now running every Thursday between now and September. So I want to encourage everyone to come out at Emerald Glen Park on Thursday evenings and enjoy local produce and food vendors and community. And there's always something going on at the market. I want to highlight that May 7th is our small business event at the farmers market. We'll have lots of local businesses that will be promoting themselves, small businesses that don't have an opportunity to do some advertising other places. It's a great community night. We'll have a DJ, there'll be giveaways, lots of local Dublin businesses. So I want to encourage everybody to come out and join us at the farmers market. It's a great time for community and spending time with family and friends and enjoying the outdoors and getting some fresh produce and maybe dinner from one of our vendors.
Thank you so much, Jean, for being with us.
Of course.
And thank you for watching this edition of the Mayor's Report for Dublin. Join us for the next episode right here on Tri-Valley TV. I'm Splen Splendorio. Thank you so much for joining us.